child when I met the first one. Eyes like fog, face half gone. He said my name like it hurt his tongue. And I learned what dying does when it's wrong. They call it gift, they call it grace, but they don't see the blood on every face. I felt the spirits take their breath, felt the shiver that comes with death. It's not heaven, it's not divine. It's a world that won't stay on its side. I see things the living never see, hear the cries that won't let me be. I walk through ghosts on my way to the store, smile like I'm fine, but I'm haunted to the core. It's a blessing, it's a curse, it's me living between what is and used to be. Children covered in dirt and blood, plague-stained eyes and frozen lungs. I smell the rot in their paper skin. They follow me home just to be seen. I've never learned how to say goodbye when they still talk, when they still cry. I light my candles, hold my breath, and try to love them out of death. Don't call it pretty, don't call it kind. It's survival of a different mind. I say things the living never see, hear the cries that won't let me be. I walk through ghosts on my way to the store, smile like I'm fine, but I'm haunted to the core. It's a blessing, it's a curse, it's me living between what is and used to be. Sometimes they whisper what I shouldn't know, the secrets of how they had to go. And I carry it, every scream, every prayer, like a cross I never asked to bear. If I could give it back, maybe I would, but helping them feels like being understood. I walk around people that aren't there. I say sorry to the air. And when the world sleeps, I keep the dead company. It's just them and me. I see things the living never see. I felt their pain, their tragedy. I talk to ghosts like they're old friends, and I never know where this world ends. It's a burden, it's a light, it's me. Forever between what is and used to be. They say I'm lucky, but luck doesn't smell like death. Still, I wouldn't trade it. Someone's gotta listen, and I always do. Welcome to the midnight tide, where shadows whisper, darkness hides. We're diving deep into the unknown, on a journey you're not alone. From haunted halls to specters lost, we'll guide you through the eerie frost, with tales that chill and spirits roam. A freaking awesome paranormal show. Ghostly whispers, ancient tomes, mysteries in haunted homes. Brace yourselves, it's time to go. The freaking awesome paranormal show. tide where shadows whisper, darkness hides. We're diving deep into the unknown, on a journey you're not alone. From haunted halls to specters lost, we'll guide you through the eerie frost, with tales that chill and spirits roam. The Freakin Awesome Paranormal Show. Ghostly whispers, ancient tomes, mysteries and haunted homes. Brace yourselves, it's time to go. The Freakin Awesome Paranormal Show. The Freakin Awesome Paranormal Show. Ghostly whispers, ancient tomes, mysteries and haunted homes. Brace yourselves, it's time to go. The Freakin Awesome Paranormal Show.
The engine is still stopped.
For launch, GC, go. Guidance, go. Fido, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max, go. Eagle, go. Ecom,
Go pending final steps to cabin link check.
3, 2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the Riff Nation Network, the RNN. Putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural. From comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
What is up, all you freaks out there? This is Ryan,
This is Rhonda.
and happy Cinco de Mayo to all our Mexican listeners, because I know we're big in Mexico.
We're big in Mexico, and we're big on margarita
yes.
tacos. So
Yes.
yeah,
Take a sip of your margarita, maybe drink a Corona, put some lime in your Corona,
yeah.
and enjoy the celebration. I actually went to Taco Bell today, and so I did my part to celebrate the goodness of Cinco de Mayo. I actually did not realize it was Cinco de Mayo until I got a picture from our guest today. Said celebrate Cinco de Mayo with us in the Freakin Awesome Paranormal Show. I was like,
I thought that was awesome. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I love the picture, man. He did a good job for sure. Hey, thanks, Howie. Michael Brooks in the house. Linda Nelson's here from Washington State. Nice. Irene, all the way from Japan. Teresa's here. It's morning here, so too early to drink alcohol. Well, it's I mean, is it? It's probably the 6th now over there, right? Probably. I don't know how.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. So it doesn't want to count anyways, Irene.
Yeah.
That would if you'd done it yesterday, it would have counted. But May the 6th is nothing. I don't know what May the 6th is. Actually.
Yeah. Lois and Ed Odell in the house.
Shonda's here.
Sean, we got all the friends.
So yesterday was May the 4th, or May the 4th be with you.
Yep.
For those of you all the Jedis who have lisps, May the 4th be with you. So yesterday was Star Wars Day. So happy Star Wars Day late. But it is also Revenge of the 5th today. So all of you dark side people, all you people who don't like the goodness, they're big fans of the Empire.
Right.
Today is your day. Revenge of the 5th. So go out there and celebrate all your darkness. Have a big Darth Vader day.
That's right.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
That's true.
It is 5 o'clock somewhere. But I would be remiss to not mention the biggest holiday. Cinco de Mayo is great, and it's fine. Really, it's but it pales in comparison to the holiday, which I'm surprised nobody took the day off for, but maybe it hasn't caught on yet. Happy Hug a Shed and Take a Selfie Day.
Hug a shed.
Oh, happy Hug a Shed and Take a Selfie Day. Hug a shed and take a selfie of yourself hugging the shed. Soon. Yes.
It's not two separate selfies at Hug a Shed Day. You must take a selfie of you hugging your shed.
Happy Hug a Shed and Take a Selfie Day. Which I'm thinking like a one-arm hug around the shed, and you take a selfie like this, maybe. I mean, I don't know. We're inclusive. We're all inclusive on this show, right? And we don't want the people who are busy hugging sheds to think we're all about Cinco de Mayo when we want to give.
Yeah, because maybe it's hard. I mean, where they go, how they going to eat their taco when they're hugging their shed and taking their selfie?
That's a busy day.
That's a busy day.
That is a busy day. You eating tacos, getting drunk, hugging sheds, taking selfies.
You have to drink in order to want to hug your shed and take a selfie.
That's probably why the holiday was invented. They were all drunk on tequila from Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
And they were like, let's hug a shed and take a selfie. Oh, it's a new day. There we go. That's how holidays are invented.
Yep. You
get drunk and do something stupid and call it a holiday.
Teresa said, I love a good shed.
I mean, who doesn't?
Hey, Sharon and Kevin.
Kevin's in the house. We're just celebrating the goodness of Hug a Shed Day. It's Children's Day. Also, according to Irene here, May 3rd, 4th. 3 days of Children's Day. Yeah, that would go straight to RJ's head if I had 3 days of Children's. Good thing about celebrate that here.
Yeah.
It's also National Devon Day, so shout out to all the Devons out there. All the Devons. Shout out to you guys. Happy Devon's Day. Don't have a shed. Hug a neighbor's shed. Or is that like a 10 commandment? I mean, I don't think I might be the 11th commandment. Don't hug a neighbor's shed.
Don't cover their neighbor's shed.
Yeah, don't cover the neighbor's shed.
They might think you're robbing it.
Yeah. What are you doing in my backyard? I'm taking the house. I'm hugging your shed. What does it look like I'm doing? God, leave me alone. So we have some stuff coming up. We have a con actually coming up here.
A con.
A con. It's a week from Saturday.
It is.
If you can believe that.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It used to feel so far away.
Yeah. I think. I mean, in my head, it's still a month away, but it is actually a week from Saturday. Cabin Con 2026 is upon us.
Yep.
And we will be there. We'll be interviewing people. We will be having a good time.
Yep.
The cool thing is about this event is it's free to the public. Anybody can get in. You can walk around, meet all these cool people. All the cool teams are going to be out there. We got Transcend Paranormal, FPRI is going to be. I can't even talk. Crop is going to be there. We're going to be there.
Yep.
13th Floor Haunted Media Productions are going to be there. Lots of incredible speakers are going to come and give speeches and talks about what we do in the paranormal and stuff. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, admission's free. You can get in for free, walk around, meet people. But the workshops, like Kim Sage just has a workshop where you're actually putting stuff together, right?
Yep.
So that's going to cost some money.
Because they got to buy materials and stuff, but you get to take home something with you.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah.
It's just, admission's free. But there are some things, if you want to participate in them, though they cost a little bit of money, but it's not like exorbitant amounts of money.
No.
You're not gonna have to like take a loan out or whatever, pawn your car, sell your kids,
you're right.
So, that's it's not gonna be too expensive. And we have paranormal investigations both nights. Friday and Saturday nights,
which is going to be fun.
Yes, and those cost money too.
Yeah,
so those aren't free. Linda Nelson's, I love my shed. Well, you need to go outside and hug it and take a picture of it, take a selfie of it if you love it that much, because it is the day. Just show your shed some love.
Show your shed some love.
Show your shed some love. Oh, so let's see. We don't have any paragons here because I am it. And whoop de ding. If we had one here, I'd be the only one. I mean, you have your own solo paragon, Irene.
Yeah.
We need to come over. Come visit us in the States.
Yeah.
And we'll take you to a paracon. Cabin Con is usually in May, so have a year to plan the trip to come see us.
That's right.
And come to the Paracon, and we'll show you a good time for sure. So that's about it for us as far as news is concerned. Cabin Con's coming up. We are going to be live from the Cabin on 360 on Thursday night. Talking about,
right. We are.
Yes. We'll be talking about Cabin Con with the proprietor of the Cabin on 360, Dennis Eselak, the man behind Cabin Con. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. He's always fun having him on the show. What is up, Shared Paranormal? How's it going?
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining the fun, and happy Hug a Shed Take a Selfie Day, by the way.
And
thank you for well, that too, but thank you for taking the time out of your Mexican holidays and shed hugging to join us tonight on the Freakin Awesome Paranormal Show. But first, before we get to our guest, which is Neil Gibbons from Graveside Paranormal, we need to learn how to live our lives. What do the cards say for us to do?
We'll pull a card from our Phoenix deck. This may be the last week we use this one for a while. I just today placed an order for a new one to use for the summer that's a little sassy.
Ooh, sassy summer card.
It's sassy. It's called the Outlaw Oracle. Looks to be pretty interesting. So hopefully it will be in time to use for next Tuesday.
I do like when cards get sassy with me. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
they're gonna be sassy.
Sassy.
They're gonna be sassy for the summer. All right, let's see what we need to do this week. Put on my glasses so I can tell y'all a thing or two. All right. Ooh. That's kind of cool. Let's get one to go along with that and see where we're supposed to go with that. Okay. Oh, that's one we got really recently. Oh, I think these are great. So the first one I pulled, and it made me want to pull another one to see where to go with it, was Wild and Happy. Really pretty deck. Kind of all the colors, everything coming together at once. Got the bright sun behind it. So, that's pretty self-extent, like wild and happy. Like, so my thought was like, when I pulled it, I was like, what do we need to do to get there? We want to be wild. We want to be happy. I think we do find a little bit more of this time of year. People are getting a little happier. They've got a little more pep in their step. So the next card I pull to go along with that says, learn to live in love. And that's just not love for others. It's love for self. It's love for the journey. It's love for the ups. It's love for the downs. It's just making sure that no matter the situation or where you're going or what you're doing, you're living in that space of peace and love, which will, I believe, bring you to the wild and happy.
Wild and happy.
Wild and happy.
Wild and
I want to say,
happy.
hey, Jason, we haven't seen you in quite a while. Good to see you.
I know we missed you, brother.
We missed you.
Hot and Sassy was Teresa's nickname.
Why am I not surprised, Teresa? Why am I not surprised? I like that term for it even better, Michelle Wilfong, with the haunted apartment. I'm going to call my deck spicy.
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 Spicy deck. I think that's very good advice.
Yeah.
Words to live by. And guys, I'm super excited to be chatting with Neil Gibbons tonight from Graveside Paranormal. Let's go ahead and bring him on to the show. Here we go.
Hello.
What's up, man? How are you?
All right. How are you two tonight?
Good.
You're good. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Woo!
Yes.
Celebrating by drinking coffee.
Yeah,
I'm hardcore like that.
Yeah, man. Don't hurt yourself now.
I know.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on tonight.
Absolutely.
No problem, man. We're happy to have you, and thank you for reminding me that it was Cinco de Mayo. I mean, it didn't put two and two. I knew the date. I knew it was May 5th, but I didn't put two and two together until I saw that. I'm like, oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah. Usually, me and my wife, we usually go to like a Mexican restaurant, but she had to work at the hospital tonight because it's also Nurses Week. A lot of professionals. It's Nurses Week, Police Officers Week, a lot of professional week for a lot of people who are in the professional field. So they celebrate a lot of that stuff. So my wife's at the hospital. She had to change a shift to help out doing what she does at the hospital.
Well, tell your wife that we appreciate what she does.
Yes, very much. I say that all the time. Thank goodness for nurses, and that there are people that can do that, because that is not a job for the faint of heart.
I'm sure. My son, he's learned to be a nurse. He's in school right now, so he's doing that. So it's like in the family thing, I guess. So they're both doing that. Yeah.
My girlfriend's a nurse, and they definitely don't get enough credit for what they do. And shout out to Kasem. I know you said you're dealing with some stuff, so we have your back here. We're always here for you if you need us, brother. So, wow. So I want to start at the beginning of your paranormal journey, but first I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
Before you go on an investigation, what kind of music are you jamming to?
Oh man, I could be jamming to a lot of music. I mean, my my go-to type music is like heavy metal rock
Mm-hmm.
when I'm going to places. But if it's a spiritual type of house, I try to use like a spiritual type music. I try to get myself in the vibe of where I'm going. So it has to kind of correlate with where I'm going to. Like if I'm going to to a property that is very spiritualistic, I try to get myself in that type of mindset. If I'm going to a cemetery or a place like a Monroe house or something like that, I think I better play the heavy metal music because I need to put my head in that type of mentality, a little erratic. So I would say that. And if you want to know my favorite group of all time is Van Halen, the original, and David Lee Roth.
Oh my gosh, that's a good one. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm always heavy metal vibing before I get
Yeah.
going. But you're right. There's certain times where I just feel, but even then it's like the high vibing, spiritual, upbeat kind of stuff that I'm trying to listen to. But
Oh yeah, I mean,
metal is the main one.
yeah, I like going through a cycle of a lot of different musics.
You need to get yourself pumped up sometimes for an investigation. But then again,
Yeah.
like you said, sometimes you need to kind of lower yourself and get yourself in the right spiritual.
Space.
You don't listen to like Running with the Devil if you go into like a church or something like that. You know, you got to kind of
Yeah, that's a little different. Yeah.
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 So when you're on an investigation, what kind of food do you like to eat? What kind of snacks do you like to have?
Oh, what kind of food? So I'm a diabetic, so I have to watch what I eat and what I don't eat. The reason why is because you're up all night, right? So you're throwing your body off. You're going from 8 o'clock to possibly 5 o'clock in the morning, right? So you're going to these places. So I try to just make sure that I have things that do have sugar in them, but I don't touch them unless I need them. And I try to keep everything high protein throughout the night. One of the things about being a diabetic for a lot of people who are in the paranormal field, I don't know if they do know or don't know, is when you're in certain locations, and if you're an empathic or psychic or some kind of a medium, you're going to get a lot of false positives in your body that may produce what you're feeling like your sugars are getting low. But it's not. It's you're getting the attachments. So when you're getting these attachments inside these places, your body will give out a false positive. That's why I always carry around 2 forms of checking. One, a needle that's in my arm. It's called Libre. And then I have the regular poker that goes on my finger, because when you go into certain places, you might feel like your sugar is getting low, but actually it's an attachment that you're receiving.
Are there any places that affect you more as a diabetic, as far as like jails or graveyards or places like that?
Now, speaking of jails, I worked for the sheriff's department 30 years. I'm retired. I've been retired for 2 years, and I dealt with psych criminals at the Cook County Jail in Chicago, Illinois, for 22 of those years. And that place there, it's actually one of the most haunted places, and people don't. It's actually the largest jail in America, and the most dangerous jail in America. And I did notice is that being in that place, because we get tons of shadow people that go in and out of that place, and there's such a negativity that my sugars always did feel like they were getting low. But it could be what we call divisions, the building that we're in. But other than that, I would say the one that I was just talking about, other than the Sally house, I would say the Monroe house actually gave me a lot of false positives.
Really?
Oh yeah. That Monroe house, there is something really, really. Have you guys ever been to the Monroe house?
No,
I have not.
The Monroe house, that place there, there's a lot of negativity inside that home. Okay. I understand the guy who owns it. I've talked to the guy before. Great couple that owns the house. Very nice people. And they keep snacks, talking of snacks. They keep them all inside the place for you to eat, just in case you need snacks. But there is something that is more than one that's inside that house that's very negative. And it will reach out and will talk to you, and you can get attachments if you're prone to attachments inside that house.
Have you noticed any physical, especially being diabetic, like physical things that seem to happen to you after an investigation? Like, for instance, for me, I'm not diabetic, but I have noticed after every investigation, it does not matter It does not matter if it's summer, winter, where I've been, inside, outside. My body temperature is cold. Like when I get home and I'm ready to go to bed, my body, my feet, my hands are just freezing. And a lot of times I have to take a hot shower to kind of regulate that before I go lay down because I'm just freezing.
Well, remember, one of the things is that when we're going to some of these haunted locations, they're cold, right? How many times have you been in a location does not have water, does not have heat or electricity, but yet we go out there? So you're taking yourself from one environment to another environment when you're putting a lot of clothes on your body and then you're taking them off because you're entering back into your environment. Can something paranormal or supernatural, odd or weird happen to you when you get home? Yes. Could you be taking on something that is not of the norm in your life? Yes, where you could start feeling cold for no reason whatsoever, like probably in the center of your body, what they would call like the chakra, right? In the center of your body, where you're going to all of a sudden start feeling very, very cold, and it'll start hitting your feet area. And no matter what, you're in a house that's 72 degrees. Why are my feet cold?
Yes.
So things like that'll happen. Like you're going to get lingering, but it's only for people who are very sensitive. Like I was at the Lake County Jail a couple of years ago in Crown Point, Indiana, known for Dillinger's Escape, right? And for whatever reason, I can be on the couch for like 2-3 days, just exhausted because of the attachments. The attachments inside of a lot of these places, institutions, are huge for them. I walked out of there, we got in the car and started driving home, and I start feeling the thing of jealousy and hatred. And these attachments that you're getting is not you. You have to recognize the characteristics. You have to recognize that it's not you. Same thing with your physical things. Am I walking a little differently? Am I feeling things physically that I shouldn't be feeling? So these could be different forms of attachments that are going on that are taking on, and you're taking on different characteristics of possibly that spirit, or if you want to say ghost, inside that place, if that makes sense for you.
Okay.
Have you ever had a because you do paranormal tours in Chicago?
Yes.
Have you ever had a person, like a customer or a tourist, I guess, have an attachment or change?
Yes.
During
Yes.
an investigation?
Yes. So in the Chicagoland area, I've been doing ghost tours in Chicago for the last 11 years, known as Graveside Paranormal Ghost Tours. And I take you on a 4.5-hour ghost tour throughout the night, mainly in the month of September and October. And we take about 40, 50 people out into the night, almost on a nightly thing on Fridays and Saturday nights. And we go to this place called Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. That's located on the south end of the Chicagoland area of Chicago. It's the most haunted cemetery in America, but it's only an acre long. And it's only got a little bit up to 99 to 102 graves that are inside this cemetery. There's a form of possession that is going on this land. And I warn everybody, and I make sure I'm very honest and real about everything. I know people love stories. They love hearing the stories. But some of the things, when you go to places, you have to be completely honest with people. So there's a form of possession that's happening on the grounds in this place. And it's not the cemetery that's haunted, it's the land that surrounds it. Back in the 1950s and 60s, people started noticing blue orbs of light bouncing around the cemetery. So people are going to get interested. They're going to start coming out there, right? So they come on out. But with that, you're going to get people who are malevolent, who are going to come out there and try to conjure up things like they're going to make this special deal with the devil type mentality, right? So they go out there doing these things on the ground, and it's the land that starts to become possessed. It starts with, instead of a human host, it's the land. So think of it as like this. We start with an infestation, right? So think of it as termites to a tree. These termites to the tree, while these people are going in here trying to conjure up things, doing sacrifices inside the cemetery area, think of it as termites to a tree where you've got the infestation. Then it leads into oppression, as a lot of you know, whereas it starts to break down. Instead of the human host, it's the land that's being broken down because they're constantly causing negative activity inside this place. The more and more you cause negative activity on some kind of ground or cemetery that's supposed to be holy ground, you're going to get what you got coming, plain and simple. Then that leads to an obsession. People start to get obsessed with this place that's only an acre long, 99 graves in it, dating back to the 1800s. For whatever reason, people get obsessed. I know of a man who actually lived on the grounds, and he actually committed suicide on the grounds. After that, we lead into a possession and an attachment where people start taking on characteristics of other people. Mm-hmm. And so getting back to answering your question, but I had to do a build up to explain what this place was. I'll get people who get violently ill at the back end of there. They'll get, and it's not just one person, they'll get what feels like someone's poking a nail in their eye. These headaches. They'll get these very bad headaches. And they'll excuse themselves. They'll call Lyft, Uber, or whatever. And I make sure I don't leave them until they've gotten on that ride. We get it where at the back end when you're on the bus where faces start showing up in the windows. People take pictures. It's a thing that we started having happen at this place. And so I tell everybody, we turn off all the lights, take a picture of your boo buddy. Your boo buddy is the closest one to the window. And all of a sudden, faces will start showing up in the windows at this place at the back end of Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. This place is a very, very real place. I came across a thing that I call mirror zones. Mirror zones is a thing where everything's reverse. Where just like when you're driving and an ambulance is coming up behind you, the spelling's backwards. Why? So you recognize it. So you understand what's driving up behind you, right? We had our thing out there called the Anahata Spirit Portal Box, where we started noticing all the replies were in reverse. I put it into the Audacity system. I reversed reverse and ran it forward plane. And we started getting all these answers like Angel Michael had his training and all different kinds of answers. It's on my YouTube channel that dates back some years. But these are some of the things that happen in that place and cause a lot of people when we're doing the tours to get ill. And I do advise people and I do tell them that this is a very real place. You can't go in at night because the sheriff's department out there does not allow people in at night, but the land surrounding it, people do get ill.
So Bachelor's Grove is not the only cemetery in the Chicago area. Ooh. What is about this cemetery? I always thought it was a big cemetery from the way people talk about it. What is it about that particular, and your like thoughts? I don't know if you know for sure, but what is it about that cemetery that attracted the people who were doing the rituals, or were they doing rituals in other places that they just didn't like catch?
So people are doing rituals in a lot of forest preserves. If you have forest preserves out in your area, cult-like activity is very huge. It's bigger than what people really truly know. And for whatever reason, they want to try to make contact with things that are very negative. Instead of when you and I probably go to a haunted location, we go there just for research or just to have some fun with our friends, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas some of these people, they have intent. And when they have intent, they're going to get what they got coming, what they're looking for. And these people are out there, just like in my place in the Chicagoland area and your place in Virginia, there are people just like this. I can tell you this is a fact. And so they're going to be out there. Why are they out there? Just to cause negative behavior. Try to make that deal with the devil type thing.
Do you think the more a place is investigated, as far as not ritual stuff, but just, calling out and asking for spirits to communicate, do you think that would increase paranormal activity? Bring people spirits that weren't there before to that location because we're calling out to them?
Sure. All right. So then we get into the idea, are we haunted, right? Are we sometimes when we go to a haunted location, is it that the place isn't haunted, that spirits follow us? So let's say you have like 10 or 20 of these people who are going out there for the day just to go out to make contact. They may be making contact with something that's already part of their life. And so it may not be the things that are on that ground, but there are things that are on the ground that are there. But these people there are probably just bringing along attachments, but it's part of their normal life. And a lot of things that are going on in that area, and a lot of areas like Virginia, and I don't know what predominantly Native Americans were out in Virginia, but a lot of the land was Potawatomi tribe. So we don't know if a lot of these places there where all of a sudden people immigrated into the 1800s started immigrating into America, whereas originally it was Native American ground. We don't know what ground we're actually building upon. And a lot of it could be where it's burial ground that can cause a lot of this activity to happen because you're messing with something you shouldn't be messing with, or you're running across things that are called ley lines, as I'm sure you know.
Mm-hmm.
Ley lines, lay underneath the earth. You cannot really tell what distance they are, how widespread they are, but you can start to tell by activity. When the environment changes, and due to environment changing, and if you have ley lines laying there, think of it as like this. Think of a ley line as like a faucet. One day, because the environment's a certain way, the faucet is turned on just a little bit, and there's a little bit of dribble of water or supernatural activity. But if everything is just right that night or day, that faucet could be on full stream, and you're getting full flow of natural, supernatural activity coming through.
That's true.
That is true.
Hadn't thought of it like that, but that's a very good way to explain it. So what made you decide to start Graveside Paranormal?
Well, what happened was I like I said, I worked for the sheriff's department for like 30 years, right? And anybody who works for nursing, professional fields, or whatever, and if you're on midnights, like I was on midnights for 28 years. And our big thing was listening to Art Bell, Coast to Coast AM, every night from 11 o'clock till about almost 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And we just sat there and listened to all these shows. And I was always big into the paranormal. And because when I was a kid, and I always tell everybody, like I said, I tell people the truth because I try to relate very well with people because it's very important to relate with people about your true stories. When I was a child, my mom and dad, we lived in the Chicagoland area. My mom and dad were going through a horrible divorce. This isn't a boo-hoo-hoo Neil story. This is a boo story. What happened is my mom used to wake up every night about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, like a lot of people do. And she started screaming at the top of her lungs while she was going through this divorce with my dad. And as time progressed and she continued doing this, I would start waking up in the middle of the night around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, I was about maybe 7 or 8 years of age, and I just happened to wake up. And I was looking inside the hallway, and I saw this small little impish-looking creature that looked kind of like a troll and was staring at me. And then it turned its head, looked back at me and smiled, and turned its head again and proceeded into my mom's room. And then she started screaming. That's when I put 2 and 2 together that's the reason why my mom's screaming at night. So as life progressed on, I was always into reading books about the paranormal, the supernatural, to try to understand that one night, right? And then as I got older, I got into the sheriff's department. We started listening to Art Bell, reading more books, sitting around, just bull crapping with each other. And then I remember we were sitting outside one of the divisions that we had at the jail. And one of the girls goes, she says, "Neil, you should start your own tour company." And I took it as a joke, So I went and got an old prison bus. And I took like all my buddies from work and some friends. And I told them all the stories. And then it came into what I am today, the ghost tours in Chicago.
I know a lot of there are tours that just tell the stories and tell the history, and then they move on. But you actually go deeper. You actually do bring equipment, let people use equipment during the tour to see if they can actually get something. Now, how long do you stay at each location for?
I would say about 15, 20 minutes because it's a tour. And all tours, when you go to do a tour, or if you're deciding to want to start your own tour company, everything is about timing because buses cost money. That's just a fact about what goes on with these things. But the thing that we do differently that no other company does, and I know this is a fact, I make sure that everybody is entertained. I want you to be entertained from the moment. You could be that guy who is very droll at a place going, oh, this is where such and such was, and this and that, and you're bored, right? Now, I like to make sure that you see evidence on the buses. We have videos, we have music, and I keep you entertained. I take you to bars and restaurants as we go along. I tell you stories there. I tell you to take pictures all night long, like I sent you some pictures earlier. Those are from my customers. When you go out into the night with me, you are an investigator. You are going to take as many photos as you can. It's amazing in Chicago, the amount of evidence that happens in Chicago. And I'm not stopping saying that mine's the main city, because it's not. But if you have 40 or 50 people out in the night, man, you're going to get some evidence, period. And usually on almost every nightly night, we get something.
So what are the stop? You said some are like bars and restaurants. What are some of the other stops you do along your tour?
So have you ever heard of the story Resurrection Mary?
No.
Yes.
Okay. Resurrection Mary is a story about a girl in the 1930s who was at a place called the Willowbrook Ballroom. And she was dancing the night away with her boyfriend. They were in love and they were young. But like a lot of young people do, they get into arguments, and the girl sometimes gets very emotional. And she ran out into the night. And she ran out to a place called Archer Avenue, the most haunted road in Chicago, called Archer Avenue. She got hit by a car, and supposedly she died on the scene. The police, the firemen came out, and they found her dead. The parents were called, witnessed her as being their daughter, and she was dead. And supposedly she wanders up and down Archer Avenue in a white dress, blonde hair, blue eye, with clutch purse and dancing shoes, because dancing is what she truly loved to do in life. Now, the whole story is actually it's my longest storyline when I tell this story, because there's so much depth to this story. Because when I do it, I make sure I research everything. And that story there, it'll go at least for a full 20 minutes, because there's 3 girls that are believed to be this girl. The original origin story, the story that I just told you, is untrue. It is a story like a lot of stories that I tell. A lot of them are brought into the United States or were brought into the United States from immigrant companies to deter people from doing certain things. So there's always an origin story in every story you ever hear.
Yes, yes.
Just through time. And when you get these origin stories, people are going to change them. And it's just amazing. Like I tell a story called the Butcher of Palis Park. And I change it up a little bit, because everybody's changed up, about a butcher that would butcher up a whole group of people. It's based off of a true story. And throughout time, because it's an 1800s story as well, like in the 1890s, people throughout time have changed up these stories as well. But the Resurrection Mary is the one that people come out, as well as Bachelor's Grove, of course, are the main stories that people love to hear about when they come out to the Chicagoland area. And the Archer Avenue, that is the place where Native Americans believed that there was a lot of, what am I calling them? Those ley lines, the ley lines up and down that avenue. And the supernatural activity that happens just up and down that avenue. And the eyewitness accounts of monks floating, shadow people, a lady in white, all kinds of phantom vehicles going up and down. It's because of ley lines. And like I said before, when the environment's just right, these things will come out and you'll be able to see them.
So do we know the real story about Resurrection Mary, or is it just lost to history?
No, I know the real story. The real story, and I'll get to the end of it, is there was a girl. This is such an interesting story. It really, truly is. There was a girl by the name of Mary Berkovey, who I believe is Resurrection Mary. But other than being blonde, she was actually brunette, which is odd. And I'll get to that. She went out into the middle of the night. She was about 21, 22 years old. And she loved to party, smoke, and dance, and this and that, like I told you.
Mm-hmm.
The original story was meant so that young girls would not go out smoking and dancing and going out to the night, or bad things.
Cautionary tale. Yeah.
So this girl here, True story. She goes out into the middle of the night. She leaves the Willowbrook Ballroom. She's having a great time. She's 22 years old. Like a lot of us, we went out smoking and drinking, having a good time because God knows I did. I did it very well, let me tell you.
Yeah, me too. I'm right there with you.
And so she goes out and they start driving into the downtown area and they hit an L pole, big old iron pole. She hits the windshield. She dies instantly. Now, what's interesting about this, she was buried at a place that's called Resurrection Cemetery. That's right on Archer Avenue. And originally when she was buried, the person who was the gravedigger that day, after he buried her in the ground, his eyewitness account was said that he saw her walking around the grave of this place, but she was brunette at the time. So that's one of the first interesting things. The other thing is that some years later, in 1937, there was a guy by the name of Jerry Palis, and you guys, your audience can look it up on the original Unsolved Mysteries. He was on the show Unsolved Mysteries about a story that he went out in 1937 to the Liberty Hall dance hall, and he noticed a beautiful blonde-haired girl in white. She was sitting there, and he asked her, "Can I dance with you?" And she said yes. And he gives eyewitness accounts. It's on the show Unsolved Mysteries at a place called Chet's Melody Lounge in that area. He talks about that she was cold to the touch. And when she was cold to the touch, he was talking to her and said, "Can I take you home?" And she said yes. And she gave him the address of 4611 South Damon Avenue in the Chicagoland area, what we would call back of the yards. He goes and the girl enters into his car. And for that moment in time, he was in love. He fell in love for that one moment in time, right? So he says, "I'm going to start driving you home." But she insisted on driving down Archer Avenue. As they started driving down Archer Avenue, she said, "Can you please stop here?" He said, "This is the front of Resurrection Cemetery." "Yes, I want to get out here." He lets her out. He's not thinking too deep about it because for that moment in time, he's in love, man. He gets out. She gets out. She starts heading towards the gate, and then she disappears into the gate line. Now, if it was you or me or anybody like that, we'd all be like, "Holy smokes, what in the holy hell was that?" Not our Jerry Palis. The next following day, because he remembered the address, 4611 South Damon Avenue, he drives to that house. He knocks on the door, and he says, "Hey, can I talk to Mary?" The mom answered the door. She says, "How dare you? My daughter's been dead for the last 3 years." And he goes, "No, I was dancing with her last night. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm really sorry." She goes, please go away. Please go away. He goes, "No, ma'am, I'm sorry." But he notices over her shoulder a picture. And that's the girl he danced with. He goes, "That's the girl. That's the girl I danced with last night." But he noticed that she was a brunette. Now, I don't know what happens when we drop dead, that all of a sudden you become blue-eyed and blonde. I don't know. But the thing is that he recognized her. And this is all evidence that was in the show Unsolved Mysteries. Remember with Robert Stack, the original Unsolved Mysteries. And it's a very true story. And when you come out into Chicago, I tell you more about all the different sightings of all Resurrection Mary, because it becomes such a dynamic story. People actually come from different cities in the month of October because they all want to know the true story. It is a true story. There is a girl that does walk up and down Archer Avenue. That is a fact. But the origin story, no.
That story, that is the original story, the one you're telling. You hear that, you hear that from in different parts of the country as well. Mm-hmm. A woman walk on the side of the road and he goes and you ends up going to the cemetery, or even takes the guy takes the girl, puts the girl in the back of the car. He looks back and she's gone, or something like that. But that it's cool to know the actual origin story of that, because that's been around. And it's been around in different parts of the country.
Yeah, that's known as the haunted hitchhiker story.
Yeah,
it actually came around, and it's so odd. I found this out because of the research that I did. This actually came back all the way to the Roman era, where this lady was showing up when carriages were going by or whatever they were riding in, and this lady would show up. So in a lot of states, a lot of cities, there's a haunted hitchhiker story. But ours just happens to be Resurrection Mary.
Good show. Don't pick up any on the side of the road because
right.
I'm looking for him, man. I'm looking for him.
Yeah. Do you ever find yourself looking when you go down the road looking for and stuff when you go? Has anybody seen her? Have you done?
Oh yeah, a buddy of mine. His name is Steve. He's actually the head of MUFON in the Illinois area. He's the president of MUFON, and he was actually on Unsolved Mysteries. He was one of the eyewitnesses that he saw Resurrection Mary back in the early 90s or late 80s. He gives a whole eyewitness account of how he met her. We didn't meet her, but he saw her on the side of the road walking.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you think it is about? I mean, I guess the Midwest in general, but there are lots of paranormal hotspots in that area, like Chicago, Iowa, all those kind of Midwest area. What do you think it is about that particular area that makes it so ripe for paranormal activity?
Well, people ask the question is, why is it we're always seeing people from the 1800s, maybe the early 1900s? Why don't I see somebody from 2026, right? Or 2025, right?
Yeah, I've heard that question posed a lot recently.
So I try to think deep on some of these things, and I think one of the reasons is we're all made of energy, right? You all agree on that, right?
Yes.
So it's the energy that's being projected out into the environment. Back then, where you and I are in a nice house right now, there's a normal heat inside the house. You're having a nice drink in a nice cup and this and that. These people were living out in times where there was none of that. They were living outside, and all that energy of negativity and frustration is being projected out. Now I'm throwing a little bit of, I'm about to get murdered, or something negative really, really happens. Now the energy is even projecting out more into the environment. I think it leaves such a recording in that area, as we know, as a residual haunting, right?
Right.
But it's from the traumatic and dramatic things that happen in timelines. Those were traumatic and dramatic timelines. Take, for instance, the Great Chicago Fire, 1917. Those things there, it's just amazing. Did I say 1917? Yeah, wrong date. But was projected out. When that's projected out into an environment that everybody's already frustrated as it is, that's why I think we see more of those things, more of those type of specters out into now at a lot of sites, because we don't see a lot of them in the 2000s or the maybe 1990s. Whereas I've come across cases where, people have asked me to come to their homes or this and that, or a business or a bar, and we will get things that are a murder that happened in the 90s or 2000s, and we will make contact. And how we make contact is using just simple things like recording devices and see what we can get. But can there be malevolent spirits that are out there trying to manipulate? Of course. I've had it happen many times where it tries to pretend it's something else. But that's the answer to my question is due to the different kind of a world that they lived in the 1800s and the early 1900s. That was just a harder lifestyle. So that energy is projected out.
Plus, you have more access to more historic locations. So you're going to see more historic people. If you go to a house that people lived in the 1800s, you'll see 1800s ghosts. When you go on a historical tour, you're not going to go to a house that people lived in the 2000s.
No, you're not, unless you get an Airbnb. If you get an Airbnb,
yeah.
But the thing is, take for instance Gettysburg. That place there, like I was there last year for a conference, and there was. My wife and my son went out there, and they were getting a lot of evidence. You see ghosts, spirits just walking up and down these hills, up and down. It's because that energy is being pushed out into the environment. People are frustrated in that energy. We are made so much full of all this energy, and we don't realize what we're truly doing by pushing all that stuff out. And that we leave a huge imprint on the next people to see us.
And we have the cabin on 360 here in Virginia, where a young lady was killed in the late 70s, and we get EVPs from her. So it's not just I guess it really depends on where you're at. Because again, if you're in a historic building, you're probably going to see a historic people. And like what you said, the fact that, probably more prevalent, and maybe you've got to be at the right place to see the spirits. And maybe you might be seeing one walk on the street. You may not even realize it. I mean, how many ghosts do you see that? Because I know people talk, they say like, I saw someone appear to me, and it was like, just like regular full body person. You mean, is there a chance that we could see someone walking on the street that could be a ghost and we not even realize it?
Sure.
Especially in a place like Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Like, take, for instance, you're talking about that 1970s, okay? Girl you said she was shot and murdered?
Yes. Yes.
Right. So she's shot and murdered. So what happens is, with a lot of cases I've come across where traumatic things happen like that, right? So we all have the ethereal umbilical cord. We're all born with an umbilical cord in life, right? So then you have the ethereal umbilical cord that's supposed to be our spirit that is connected to our human host body. Now, when people don't know that they're about to die or quickly just die, that umbilical cord is snapped, and they become a lost soul. And what happens is, she might still be there, or she might frequent back, or you're getting fragments of the history of that with a residual through that energy that's being pushed out, or the ethereal umbilical cord was snapped before her time, and she doesn't know that she's dead.
I mean, that's true. There was she was 12-year-old girl who was shot in the chest by her brother, or her half brother, and we did a spirit box session in her room, and my friend Dennis asked, is the name Randy significant? And her voice comes through. It sounded like a little girl saying he did it. That was the name of her brother.
Mm-hmm.
And on another occasion, and this goes for energy, like energy still being there. This guy's still alive, right? A voice came through that said, "Not a rapist," because Randy raped, R-worded, sorry, Melissa before he unalived her. And he said, the voice came through, said, "Not a rapist." And a voice came through after that and said, "Hello, Randy." So it's like he's still alive, but whatever's left behind is trying to convince the investigators, that he did not do that to his sister.
Sure.
It's just crazy how it works, and like how you can be alive in the spirits. Your spirit is still there. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's very interesting, especially when you start to really know the history of a place, and then you're reaching out to what traumatic event happened in those places. So it's very interesting. And then you gamble, wondering if, like you're talking about that young man, if he's going to act out, because you're asking too many questions, which has happened in certain locations. You ask too many questions, or you started imposing the thing that you're guilty. You did this to your sister. There is that chance that someone might fall down a flight of stairs.
Yeah, right? People have been pushed or scratched. I mean, it's definitely a place where people can change. Have you ever had people actually, get upset or mad or angry, change their personality during an investigation?
Yeah. All right. So, those pictures that you put up of the other people. So, the video that you made, thank you. It was a great job. Those people, I'm affiliated with them. That's Larry and Brittany. And
Larry's awesome.
Yeah, Larry's a good friend. Me and Larry, we did I had people. You ever hear of the Roth House? I'll get to your question in a second. You ever hear of the Roth House?
Yes.
I had Larry and myself. We filmed a documentary called The Seance, and I had over 150 customers come out to the Watsika Wonder story, the first known possession in America. So Larry's a good friend of mine. We work together. We were just working together 2 weeks ago. We were doing a UFO conference thing together, and we were doing a documentary there. But to get to what you're thinking about. So Larry, Brittany, myself, and a guy by the name of Mike and Jenny, we all went to this place in Jericho, Wisconsin, and we filmed this. And this place here is known as the Trinity. It's a old
me about
church.
the Trinity. Yes.
Tell you all about this?
Well, no, not from this investigation, but he's told me about the Trinity, like that we should go there and stuff. So yeah, go ahead.
So we were there for 3 days. I got us an Airbnb that's like half a mile away, and we're actually supposed to go back there this June to finish the interviews. I have never been to a place in the time I've been doing this as active as that and as evil as this place is. I swear to God, and I'm not trying to hype it up. I don't make any money or anything like that. I don't get anything. We were there for 3 days, and people's personalities were changing. On the second day, their personalities started changing. You would see these shadow people. When this video comes out, I just bought us all new cameras, all brand new cameras, right, to document everything. All of them went out. We were lucky that one of the guys, we were inside the church area down in the basement. It was 80 degrees outside, and everybody's breath, you could see it like turn 30 degrees like that. And he takes out his phone to videotape, and I swear to God, it'll be on this thing, where you see all these little shadow people running across the floor, and there's a fog. And I'm like this, holy this place here, I don't. There's a deep storyline to it, and I kind of get confused on the storyline, but I know that there was definitely abuse of children. So I'm an empath, and I get people who come to me in dreams, and I hear voices, but only out of my left ear. And we were down in the basement, and I already knew that children were beaten down in this one basement. So we did an Estes method, me and Larry, the first time we went there. And I started asking questions. There's another video that we have. It's up and out already. Is that you hear, I go, were there children beaten here? And Larry, as you know, in Estes methods, he can't hear you. He's got a blindfold on, right? So and I'm far back, so he can't hear me. And I'm recording as it goes, yes, we were beat. And it was exact right to the question. The minute I said, the second that, and we got rapport like that constantly. And when we went back there with me, Brittany, Larry, Mike, and Jenny, same darn thing. That attic. Did you ever see, what was the name of that possession movie that came out last year, where he's in a jail or something like that? What the hell was the name of that movie? It kind of gave that vibe where like that movie there, and I'm trying to remember the name, will come to me, where like that's a perfect scenario of what a real true possession is. And it came out, it's on Netflix, and I'll try to remember it. But the rapport that was back and forth is like you and I talking right now. It's just amazing, this place.
And that place is called the Trinity because it's 3 different buildings that serve different things. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's in Jericho. Yeah, Jericho, Wisconsin. I don't know how much. I know the guy who runs it. His name's Steve. Nice guy. Him and his wife, professional people as well. And it's a reasonable price, I think. I didn't pay for that. Larry paid for that. I paid for the Airbnb, so I don't know how much it is, though. But I recommend people. But once again, places like this, we were just there at the right time, the right place. When that happens, and you get, the other thing is having the right team. When you're out at these things and you have a good, solid team, you're going to get the best activity and best evidence. I'm telling you, I've been very blessed with all the evidence I've been able to get throughout the years. Like I could show you guys evidence that lasts for a very long time. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I'm just letting you know is that like those pictures I sent you of all those shadow people, that's just the tip of an iceberg of what we get here in Chicago.
Well, we do have to do evidence shows here, and I didn't talk about that earlier, and because you had mentioned about doing evidence tonight, and I knew that I wanted to get your story and learn about your tours and stuff like that. I wanted to give your evidence a whole show and not feel rushed trying to get through it, you know?
Okay. That's fine.
But I would like to go through the pictures since you sent them to me. But I do want to ask you one thing real quick. When you go someplace like the Trinity, how long does it take you to recover from an investigation like that?
That one there, man, other than the Lake County Jail in Crown Point, Indiana, I think that lasted at least up to 2 weeks. What happened was, all right, so when I got home, I don't know if your show's an hour, and I don't mean to keep going on and on, but if you get me started, I can't help myself. I'm sorry. But the thing is that when I got home, I started having dreams about children in this basement and saying, please help me, please help us. And I'm like, oh my God, you could feel when you get these type of things, you're taking on their emotions. And when you take on their emotions, and you know it's not you, it's really rough. It messes with you because you're trying to recognize who you are and what this thing is. And when you're taking on emotions you've never felt before, like I was never abused as a child, but now I'm taking on the emotion of feeling like I'm abused as a child. And it for a first time emotion, it's rough. And you constantly reflect upon that thought, that feeling. And that's where the problem lies when you do what we do.
Yeah. I almost feel helplessness because you know they're asking you for help, but it's like, what can you do? And because you're all the way in where you're back in Chicago, but they look at you as someone who can help them, and you're like, well, what? You don't know what to do. It's very you know, when you get those EVPs where you come back and listen, you hear a little girl's voice saying, please help me.
Yeah.
You know, it's very depressing. But again, it's what we do. It's part of the whole kit and caboodle of what we do, and we try to help them as much as we can. You know, I mean,
you can only help to a point. You know, you try to be that guy or girl who can go in there and maybe, if you're that talented, to be able to cross them over, which I am not. That's not what I do. I would love to be able to help things like that, but I'd be just pretending, and I don't want to pretend.
Yeah. I mean, you want to act, you know, go through the motions, and if you don't know what you're doing,
right?
You know, but I do want to show the pictures, and then we will let you go after this, and we'll have you back on in the future for a whole evidence show with videos, EVPs, and all that stuff.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
That'd be awesome.
Right. No problem. We love doing evidence shows. They're a lot of fun. Okay, here is the first one right here. Let's see, did it show up? Yes, it is. There it is. You see it?
Yeah. So that's our bus on what we call Keene Avenue, and you see the shadow person standing next to our bus. That's that's near the gate of Archerwood Cemetery. Archerwood Cemetery is known for the wailing lady, the crying lady of the cemetery. And she's always supposedly at that gate. Could that be her? Or could it be just one of the many shadow people that reside? And there's many shadow people inside Archerwood Cemetery.
That picture is the picture of the lady in the Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. You know the famous one?
Yeah, Judy Huff took that picture back in the early 1900s with Dale Kaczmarek's group. That one there. Now, here's the interesting thing. So I researched that one. The Madonna of Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, it's called. There was a lady by the name of Amelia Patrick Humphreys who actually could have been that lady, because when I do a picture analysis, it's very familiar to that lady of her face. So we believe it's a girl by the name of Amelia Patrick Humphreys, who was the mother of a daughter that's actually buried in that cemetery by the name of Libby. And Libby died at a very early age, and supposedly that's the mother, Amelia Patrick Humphreys. It's one of the most famous photos ever, and I know the guy who has the original photo. I was actually at his house about 3-4 weeks ago.
That's such a clear picture too. That's
great. So this is
awesome.
Yeah, this is at the gate. Once again, it's people who go out into the night with me that get these pictures where it looks like it's floating outside of the gate of the cemetery.
Wow.
What cemetery is this?
That's Archer Woods as well.
Okay.
All these ones I sent you is just Archer Woods, and those aren't even all of them.
How big is Archer Woods?
Much larger than Bachelor's Grove. I would say at least 5, 6, maybe 6 acres.
Oh wow.
5 to 6 acres, yeah.
And the last one, last but not least. Wow, like I said, right there, little creeper right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
You see 2 of them running side by side with each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're kids playing with each other.
Man, I don't know. Now, back in the 1920s in the Chicagoland area, there was gravedigger strike. So people were not buried in their proper place. Could this first, can it be Native Americans, spirits of Native Americans, or could it be mislaid people who were never found their correct place where they were supposed to be buried? Or is it dimensional? And that's the other thing, ultra terrestrials. We can get into that all day long, ultra terrestrials.
That's the fun part about, doing this stuff is just trying to figure out, or having these conversations like, what could it be? Could it be this? Could it be that? Even going into talking about extra dimensionals, which has become a very popular topic these days.
Yeah,
talking about aliens and stuff.
Yeah, like I tell people, it's about frequencies and environment, and so I want to do this large experiment that I'm waiting for the right person to find. Is where when you have like I was telling you about mirror zones where things are all backwards, right? If you're able to project out into the environment a frequency emitter at the right frequency, like when we talk about the veil, right? Some veils can be really thick, like a brick wall where you can't see or hear from the other side, right? But in certain areas, when the environment's just right, that veil can be very, very thin. Can we figure it out where what frequency could be emitted out into that area? And the kind of equipment that we do when we map everything out, where we can figure out what time of day, what type of frequency, all this. And I understand it'd be a large experiment to do, but I think it's something that's very important is frequency. Frequency is huge.
Yeah, that is definitely true. For sure. Neil, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
It was a ton of fun, and I want to give you a chance to talk about how people can get in touch with you or learn how to, if you're in the Chicago area or anywhere close by, how they can get in touch with you to take a tour. Is it just September and October, or you do it all year?
No, I'll do like I try to do speaking engagements. If anybody needs me for a speaking engagement, I do speaking engagements in many places. I love it's what I truly love to do. I love talking to people and showing them evidence. I run a whole program so that people are entertained as well as well talked about what is going on in certain places. I have different subjects to talk about. But September and October, we do all of our tours. Me, Chris Fleming, Diet Renee, International Medium, Diet Renee, and Chris Fleming, from Haunted Ireland and Haunted Scotland, all those shows that were on the Discovery. We're going to be doing an event on September 26th at the Watsika Museum. We're going to be speaking about things. I'm going to be talking about miracles and benevolence. And he's going to be talking about a haunting that happened to him. And then we're going to do a gallery reading, and I'm keeping it at $50. So people are going to be coming out there in Watsika, Illinois, and then all our tours start up throughout the whole and small events that we do in the month of October. So what you would do is go to Graveside, SIDE, paranormal.com to check out everything. We haven't put up everything yet because I'm not done talking to everybody, getting all contracts done. But the Watsika Vale, if you see my Facebook page, Graveside Paranormal, Big Red Hand, you'll see all the updates that happen on there.
And give us a little bit of information about your podcast. Sorry, I couldn't talk there for a second.
So for 5 years, I had a podcast called The Paranormal Guys Podcast. And my old partner, he had discontinued it. So I'm starting up a new one in June called the DWO, the Dead World Order. We're going to have it coming out June, and what's based upon, it's going to be a table table discussion where I have 3 guests on. Everybody picks a discussion, and we all talk about different subjects, and everybody gives their input on it. So that'll be called the DWO. And other than that, you can reach me at Neal, Neal, at gravesideparanormal.com. Ask me questions. Feel free, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
All right, brother. Thank you so much for joining us. And I will be in touch with you about coming on later on, probably the summer, to do an evidence show.
Sure. Yeah. I'd love to. Yeah.
All right, damn it, man. Thank you so much.
All right, you guys have a good night. God bless.
You too. Thank you
so much. Have a good night.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Right, bye. That was fun. That was
fun. And we've had, he was talking about his friend Larry. We've had Larry on before.
We did?
Yeah, Larry Eisler. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. I was like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
We have him back. We need to have him back on.
We do. I told him that when I saw him in Gettysburg last summer.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Speaking of repeat guests, we are bringing back Miss Lou Ann Jolly.
That's gonna be fun.
Of our Lizzie Borden discussion. Yes. We're gonna dive into Lizzie, because before we were talking about her, her history.
Yeah, like we were getting an understanding of who she is and what she's done. Yes.
Yes. So we got that out the way.
Yep.
So now we're going to talk about Lizzie Borden, guys. So next week we're going to be talking about The Curse of Lizzie Borden. Now, The Curse of Lizzie Borden is a show that was on either Travel Channel or Discovery Network, something like that. It was a series, I believe, that she was on. That I don't know if it's available or not. I'm gonna look. But to do some homework, I have to watch it too, so I can answer questions about it. But
yeah,
if you want to do some homework and check out The Curse of Lizzie Borden, and then we'll actually have her on the show with us next week. And of course, we will be at the cabin with Dennis on Thursday. And then my friend Ariel Grata from, I think, Clifton Inn.
Ooh.
She's coming on. She'll be on with us on TikTok after Lou Ann Jolly. And then we have Soulfire Paranormal joining us on May 19th.
Very cool.
And then the day after, Thursday after that, we have Dana back to give tarot card readings. So we have a bunch of very cool shows coming up for you guys. We've got Cabin Con, so you will be there doing streaming from there as well. Be a lot of cool stuff coming up for you guys this Sunday night, because I know you guys get really sad when you can't listen, you can't hear.
I know y'all miss us so much.
Yes, this Sunday night we have the Freakin Awesome playlist.
Yep,
and we're going to get the summer started right. We're doing a 1990s summer mixtape for you guys,
which is going to be so much fun.
Get in the Wayback Machine. We'll go back to 1990s. Listen to Sugar Ray, NSYNC.
Doesn't feel way back, but
well, not that far way back. But it's going to be a lot of fun, just jamming out to some great summer 1990s tunes. So join us on Sunday at 9 o'clock. YouTube exclusive. So as we put together our Freakin Awesome Summer 1990s mixtape, and please give us some feedback, throw your favorite songs on there, and we'll put together a nice playlist for you guys. So we have a lot of cool stuff coming up, and we will see you live from the cabin on 360 on Thursday night, 9 o'clock p.m. on TikTok. Same Freakin Awesome time.
Same Freakin Awesome show.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you Thursday. Bye.
Bye.